Places. Maybe I don't
Hello.
know.
Hi,
Good
Kat.
evening. Hi.
How are you?
And
I'm
welcome
well. How are you?
to the call for the, was it 11th of January 2018. Welcome, Kat. Good to have you on again. We look forward
Good
to
to be
hearing
here.
what you have to share.
Jeez. Is that it? Do I just share now?
Yeah, way to go.
Awesome. It's going to be a very relaxed call, everybody.
Well, that's how we roll here.
Okay, good. I'm not a PowerPoint girl. That's just not going to happen. What do we got? I'm just making sure I can see everybody's faces. I feel like doing like a little round robin. Can we go around and have everyone just introduce themselves to me? Because I don't know everyone anymore. It used to be that I was so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? Well, maybe I'll just do a me first. So clearly, I'm Kat, and I have been around in this community now for, I'm starting to say, Robbie, going on 4 years. How's that?
Well,
Old timer. What's that?
It is 4 years, isn't it?
I reckon it's.
Well, there's been 4 momentum days.
Oh shit! Really? Does that mean Sydney was 4 years ago?
But that'd be
Wow,
3 years ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah, and I started in about July. So, anywho, I've been around.
3.5.
And yeah, what can I say about me? So I live on the south coast of New South Wales, in the Bega Valley. So I'm a total rural girl, and I actually started with the SFM. Here's a cool story. When my son, I've got 2 kids, one 18 and one 15. When my son was in year 9, I just decided to homeschool him. The end of year 8, I don't know if anyone's got kids, but or can remember for themselves. Year 8 and 9 are some emotionally challenging years. And that actually been, my kids went through an alternative schooling program when they were younger. And then high school, they kind of hit the wall. Sort of saw a bit too much injustice and decided it wasn't good enough. So I had pulled my son out of school, and I was actually looking for digital education for him because he was into coding. And that's when I came across the DEA. So funnily enough, he is now going through the SFM and becoming a digital marketer, which is kind of hilarious because he's left school now. So that is how I began, and I just lapped up the education from the very first moment. I'm actually one of those people who I'm not a very fast reader. I've never, I don't know, like I feel like
I know that.
Yeah. I feel like my dad's like dyslexic and I was never diagnosed, but I've definitely got, like, I've learned through this process the different ways in which I learn. And the best way that I learn is listening and fast, because I actually need a lot to go in at once. It's really crazy. So you can imagine me, SFM, someone told me, and I don't think we need to do it anymore, but back then the videos didn't have the speed up option. So I downloaded a piece of software that made them go really fast and just ripped through it and just loved every moment. And met some awesome people in Sydney. That was the first one. Magic. So good. And it was soon after that I realized I really did need a solid marketing budget if I was going to get anywhere with affiliate marketing. And I'm a single parent, and I was just working not very much in odd jobs homeschooling my child. So I needed to think laterally. And I actually, I started, this it sounds really funny because I wouldn't have said this at the time, I started my own digital marketing agency, which at the time simply meant that I walked down the main street of my town and asked people if they needed help with Facebook. It was that simple. And that's actually something that I thought I might speak into today, but I'm going to stop there because I want to hear from everyone with intros and stuff. And maybe with your intro, if you can include a little bit about where you're up to and what would be helpful on this call. So I will let you know. So we could talk about we could talk about how I got started in digital and making some money without like having a marketing budget. We could talk about that as that base one. Or my passion now is that I'm probably seen some of your faces before on doing the women's mastermind call. So I've moved all the way now into much more of a personal development role within the SFM, and I'm doing I have my own coaching business. So I still have the agency, and now I'm much more inclined to do coaching. So I'll get you to speak into that. Sorry, what's that?
Multiple streams of income.
Absolutely, we can do it all.
Yeah.
So actually true. I joke. It's not funny. It is true. We can do anything we want. Yeah. So I'm just going to call on people. I just see John Newman has just jumped on. I'm going to have to catch you up, John, if you're listening. But hello. Let's start with Angie. Would you mind coming out, just letting us know who you are, where you are? I'm curious as to that as well.
All right. I'm actually just a year now in the business.
Mm-hmm.
So probably about a year this week. Into the Perth momentum. So I would have met you very briefly there at Perth. Excellent. Great. Thank you. In Perth. So yeah, I'm actually at the elite level, but really interested more in hearing now. I actually come into the business thinking, yes, I want to do the affiliate model. However, I know that I need to have a marketing budget in each position. So I'm actually just doing a few back steps. I've decided in the past week that I'm going to be doing some backstepping and going down some of the route of doing social media for people as well. So, yeah, be very interested to hear in that side of things, and jotted a few questions for later.
Okay, awesome. Thank you. Yeah. And where are you? I'm always curious.
Sorry, I'm on the Central Coast. I actually live very close to Chris.
Oh,
to Chris. Yeah. So
awesome.
I'm on the Central Coast in New South Wales.
Nice. Oh, cool.
We were discussing today, my husband and I, saying that if we do decide to move, if the kids move away, because my son turns 18 tomorrow, that we'll be moving down towards your direction.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we like it down that way. It's a beautiful spot.
Pretty good spot, yeah, I will say. A bit biased, but thank you. All right, thanks. That's great. Let's have, all your names have disappeared. Callie, do you want to come out and tell us a little bit about where you're at? You'll have to unmute.
Okay, we good?
Yes. Hello, good evening.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So what am I saying? I'm at elite level. I've been with SFM for about 6 months now.
Awesome.
So I'm doing unpaid marketing at the moment. Still haven't generated any of the leads. I'm blogging. Yeah. I'm just sort of going with the blogging at the moment.
Awesome.
So I'm pretty much just doing that as much as I can, but I'm also wanting to look at doing video editing. And I guess this year I'm going to have to look at, creating an ad and sort of moving forward and just doing whatever I can with the unpaid, going down the unpaid way at the moment.
Awesome. The video editing, are you saying that for within your business, or is that something you have an interest in doing in other areas?
Well, I just want to, I'm interested in learning how it all works and then just seeing where I go from there with it.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you.
So,
where are you?
I'm on the Central Coast as well.
Oh, yeah. I cut you off? Was there something else that you wanted to say? No, cool. Well, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
That's awesome. I hope you guys are having a Central Coast meetup. That if that hasn't happened yet, that should happen, right? Is that happening?
There is a Sydney one, but that's
right.
Like for Angie and I, it's like because they go right into the city. It's about an hour and 15.
Yeah.
But it'd be good if we could have a Central Coast one, and then the Coffs Harbour one is that's 6 hours away, but
right,
which is in a couple of weeks. So I haven't been to any I've been one to one in Sydney, but that's the only meet-up event thing I've been to. So, yeah, I'm hoping to go to Coffs Harbour for a couple of days to meet some people, which would be good.
Awesome. Yeah, connections have been a really big part of my success. So I definitely encourage you wherever you can to connect with people. It's awesome.
Yes.
Thank you. Thanks for introducing yourself. Nice to meet you. Awesome. John, you want to come and tell us who you are? Some of us may not know.
No, it's true. Well, my name's John Newman. I've been in probably 2 years now, actually, coming up January. So that's really snuck up on me. Black level. And yeah, just it's going to be an interesting year for me. Going to be starting a whole new bunch of things. So just watch this space.
Awesome. Do you care to share?
Just basically, yeah. A little bit of coaching stuff, doing the affiliate side, doing some import-export stuff. So basically just adding more stuff to my plate to sort of see what comes up rather than less. So it's interesting when you start asking different questions, what sort of changes. So,
yeah,
definitely.
Is there anything specifically that you are looking for coming on this call today?
No, just thought I'd drop in and maybe contribute somehow and probably pop off in about half an hour.
Awesome. All right. Well, lovely to see you. Thanks for joining us.
Welcome.
And we have Lisa. Is that how I pronounce your name? Can you unmute yourself? Hello.
There we go. Can you hear me?
Yes. Did I pronounce your name right, Lisa?
Yes, you did. Exactly right.
Great. Awesome. How are you?
I'm good. I've got air cons going in the background. It may be noisy.
That's okay. That's fine.
I've been in for about 2.5 years. I'm currently in country South Australia. Just
cool.
Plugging away. Been doing a lot of learning about Facebook advertising, and I have yet to start the video challenge, but I've got to start doing that now because I've left my job and I've got to get full on into doing everything.
Mm-hmm.
So,
awesome. Good one. What level are you at, Lisa?
I'm at basic membership at the moment.
Cool. Awesome. All right. Okay. And is there anything that you were hoping to gain from being on this call? Specifically, anyway?
Yeah. I mean, it helps me stay focused if I try and get in every week and say hi to everyone.
Totally.
It keeps me on track.
Mm-hmm.
It's too easy to say, oh, not this week, next week. So I do that. I just like to see everyone and say hello. Last week was really good with the video challenge, so that was quite informative. And yeah, learned a lot then. Tonight I just, nothing specific, just want to hear what everyone has to say.
Cool. Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for sharing. That's awesome. Okay. So I've got a little bit of a gauge. I think I will speak to, I think I did one of the things that that people come to me with a lot is the fact that I started this agency out of nothing. And it's funny because it obviously is impressive, and because it sounds impressive, and there's a piece of me that just is so clear that anyone can do that. Having done the training in the DEA, and then with Google at your fingertips, of course, there's nothing you can't do. And so I will speak to that a little bit, like for Angie, but then like it's interesting. I feel like you will all gain something. So I'm actually coaching someone through this process at the moment, and I'm just thinking how I very, very started with her. So as far as local businesses are concerned, and even in one of my fears was, I can't do that. I live in a regional area. So and obviously we've got some small town going on in the audience. So I'm in the Bega Valley. There's like 20,000 people in the whole region. And so obviously that's not a lot of population to support business at all, let alone a new business. So one of the very first things that I did was researched what a local business needs to do for their online presence. And it was an awesome task because I realized just how simple it was. And I realized that the only reason I felt like I knew that it was simple is because I had done some training in this area. So one of my thoughts was, there was a lot of me thinking, I still can't do that. I'd obviously done the Facebook training, it was mostly Facebook, to be honest. I'm just thinking where I got. It was mostly Facebook. Yeah, mostly Facebook. And then, just the marketing in general. So I literally just Googled, right, like if I were a local business, so I just pretended I was a local business, what kind of marketing is required for me online? Like what can I do at the very bottom level? And there really are only a few things. So one of them is Google My Business. So that's where you can Google a business locally and it gives you the little map reading, like at the top of Google, you've got the maps when you do a local Google. And then social media presence, which in its very basic form is just Facebook. Not much more to add in Instagram as well. And then very basic web design, which is what we all get taken through as well. And so I had that realization and I looked just a little more into it and, made sure I could cover up on that. And things are set up, like when I say Google My Business, obviously this is not something we've learned in the DEA, but it's set up, like the Google platform is set up so that anyone with a local business can follow the steps and make sure that they're listed properly online. And that's really all there is to it. And there are some steps, but if you've done anything on the SFM yet, or can have a Facebook page, like it's not rocket science, believe me. So one of the very first things that I did was I actually went to a women's networking group, and I didn't really tell people what I was doing, but I just sort of felt out if I could possibly help, sort of thought I'd get in there and see if I could get some confidence. And it was immediate that I was like, oh, wow. I think when you're like, I was spending so much of my time in the community with obviously surrounded by people like yourselves who, when you talk about a Facebook post, they understand what you're talking about. And jumping back into a reality situation, like a brick and mortar business owner, and saying, oh, I just ask some very basic questions. Oh, do you have a Facebook page? Like, how often do you post on Facebook? And I got so many like, what sort of reactions. I was like, yes, this is a good response. So I put together a package of like, all right, if you're not online, this is like, I can help you do this. And one of the things that it was a little bit tricky to start with. Obviously, I had to approach people, but within that networking group, that was an easy one because, well, I don't know if you guys have been to networking groups before, but it was quite a small group, and we all just had breakfast together and then had a turn at telling each other what we did. And so it was a very like bottom line and safe kind of place for me to try it out. And I could say, I just was honest with them. Oh, well, I've done all this training and I can see that I've got something that I can give, and I'm just starting out. And it was a really supportive environment. So, and it was very quick that my confidence started to build. There's something else I wanted to say in there. So I put together this package, and then actually immediately I was encouraged by one of the women in the group to run a Facebook workshop locally. She was part of and actually this has happened. So there's probably a handful of people that I've now kind of talked through this process and then coached along the way. And it happens every time that wherever they are, Chamber of Commerce like goes, oh my God, someone who knows social media, and just wants, like, it's like they spread the word like wildfire. And it's actually, for a couple of people, been really overwhelming. Like, the Chamber of Commerce want me to have already booked 100 seats and want me to present to them. It's amazing how quick, like how in need our skills are. That is the point that I want to get across. Like, so in need. It's at the point now where I've had to, like, I'm pulling away from getting new clients because I'm moving into my coaching, and I still have people calling me all the time, and I've had to make sure that I've got really good referrals, like people to pass them over to, because I haven't really even had to do for that kind of that beginning phase. I haven't had to market at all. Like, the only point where I've marketed in my business is when I've done specific Facebook ads marketing. And I did that. Yeah, that's sort of next level. But in that beginning stage, and I very quickly was on a full-time wage and working from home and still managing to homeschool my son and had an advertising budget and all, like, it was just like, what just happened? And yeah, the real point that I want to get across is that I didn't have any idea what I was doing, any idea. and I hope that gives you some faith in yourselves, that you guys could actually walk out and ask the first person you meet if they post on Facebook and have a client before the end of the day, like one lap of the main street, and you could have half an income. It's actually ridiculous. One of the things that was really powerful when I did this workshop, and pretty much 80% of the people that I did this workshop for, and the workshop was only for 3 hours, and it was absolutely 101. It was like, let's set up your page. Let's make sure your description has 2 keywords in it. Like, let's make sure, like, the just absolute basics. Like, such easy stuff. And then there was a lot of just walking around and helping people log on and helping people, like, just stuff that I was like, oh wow, I thought people knew this. But one of the really good sales things that I did was actually with the Google My Business. So when I started going to the next level and trying to get some bigger clients, I would get my iPhone out. So I've got, or you could use an iPad. I've got a 6 Plus, so it's quite big, and go along through the towns nearby and search the local businesses. And I'd say probably 70% of them, and it's probably shifted a bit now, I'm sure, but at that time, 3 years ago, I would Google hairdresser Bega, and nothing would come up, or they wouldn't come up. I could at least find 3 hairdressers in town that wouldn't even come up in Google. And that's, like, to me, that was ridiculous. Like, no one uses the yellow pages anymore. How do they expect people to find them? I mean, come on. And so that was such an easy sell to just be like, I just Googled, like, if I'm new to town and I Google like a cafe, you don't even rate, like, no one knows that you're here. And oh my God, people needed me to fix that for them. It was just like, every person that I pointed that out to, obviously, I mean, it's obvious, how could they have not done that already? There's still plenty around too. That's something my son does now. It's just like,
also when you Google, sometimes the businesses come up and there's a little thing that says claim your business.
Yeah, so it's anybody's. It's ridiculous. And then it's not like, I mean, it's very easy. It's a very easy skill to also be able to tweak that profile. It's really just a Google profile to make sure it goes up the ranks. Like, it's actually a whole different way of doing search engine optimization within that local platform. So the Maps local, it's got nothing to do with website SEO. So everyone goes, oh my God, you do SEO? Like, whoa, like, that's totally next level. And I do, but that's an aside. As far as Google's concerned, they don't care about website stuff. They care, that profile stuff's totally separate. And there's some really easy stuff that you can do to a profile to have it, and then it is number one. If it's local, it's a really different game, SEO local and SEO that you hear of, national, international. Those local, getting people to rank locally for their given business in a local area is just so not difficult. So yeah, you're totally right. Google does that thing where it picks up the businesses from all the different search engine, all the different like local listing things, and just puts it there. And it could be totally wrong. There was a business in town here, a furniture shop, that had they'd moved addresses a few times and just not cleaned that up. There were 5 different places, and then this one had like this shitty image that was from the newspaper that Google had just put in there. Like, there's just so many businesses that are just a mess, and they don't know what they're doing. And for someone like you or me, that can just get cleaned up in a half-hour session. So anyway, obviously passionate about that. I do know that a lot of people do find themselves without marketing budget, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, to me it's just like, well, just go out and get it. It's like, it's just too easy. So yeah, does anyone have any questions about that?
Yeah, I was more wondering, like, Kat, I think you've explained it there very well. You just went out and got it, which is great, because I've always been held back. I also work part-time as well, but I've held myself back more because I'm thinking, are my skills good enough? And then probably the reason I think like that is although I do a little bit of affiliate marketing, I have started Facebook advertising, I don't get 10 leads a day. So then I think, well, should I be waiting till I get in the leads and to have more experience in it to be doing it? And this is what I've always held myself back on, thinking,
yes.
When do you really feel like your skills are good enough? Like you said, you focused on there. I do believe and know that mine would be, but it's more like...
Yes.
Probably
well,
9% of the businesses out there.
Yeah.
You really do need to start comparing yourself to the right people. And with that kind of thinking, with the thinking, am I good enough? Like every step you take, every bit of learning you do, you're always going to have that thinking.
Yeah.
So if you can detach the thinking from the facts, like, yes, part of your thought process is I'm not good enough. My skills aren't good enough. Knowing that that's actually just a mind game and nothing to do with reality can be really helpful.
Yeah.
So a little bit of coaching on that, but then also just get yourself out there, because you will discover it very fast, just like I did. I was obviously had reservations. I didn't know what I was doing. I felt like I didn't know what I was doing. I'd never done it before. That's how we always feel when we do something new. But the networking group was a great place to start, and there do seem to be specific women's networking groups, and they are very held. They're a really safe environment. So I would encourage you to seek one of those out in your local area, and even just to meet some people and feel it out. That would be a good first step. I would almost guarantee that you're going to find at least 80% of them, just in talking to them about the subject, you'll get a very clear message that you know more than them. And all you need to do is know one step more. You don't have to be a genius. You don't have to be running international traffic SEO, at all. You just need to know one extra thing. So, yeah, does that answer your question?
No, that is. I think that's what I keep saying. You're always one step ahead. So, yeah, that's good.
Yeah, and go ahead.
The other thing I really want to know is when you're actually trying to work out, when you first approach people and get through, and then you're looking at your charging, did you just Google all that to find out exactly what should we be charging and putting it together as a monthly package? Because of course, when you're looking after and setting up things for Facebook or things, they don't take that long.
No.
So it's you wouldn't be charging per the hour is my way of thinking.
No, you definitely wouldn't. That's a really good question. So here's the thing that might blow your mind. You're only as worth as much as you say you are. And so literally you just get to choose what you're worth and what that is worth. Now you could Google and ask other people what they're charging, or until the cows come home, really. And it really is about what you think you're worth. So, in the beginning, a little bit of it's helpful to get to a place where you feel like you're comfortable with a dollar value on an hourly rate. So maybe I just did this with my son recently, and he was like, oh, $25 an hour. And I was like, oh God, I've done enough. I've raised you terribly. But I was like, but you know, he's a young person. He's like, well, I don't know. And then I was like, all right, we'll try out 45. How does it feel? It really is, how does it feel? So after you get to a really, like it feels good, like, oh, actually, no, you're right. I'm worth about this much for an hourly rate. This is just the beginning stages of this process. Then about how long is that going to take me? And then how much, like the biggest thing moving on from that is how much is this worth to the business? Because ultimately that is what you're selling. So in the very early days, really, really feel into that hourly rate and push yourself. Maybe you're worth $300 an hour right now. Of course, like maybe it feels just like I should get $300 for every hour of my life. And maybe it's like, ooh, like actually, like I'm getting to 75 and I just don't think I could say that out loud. So don't push yourself out of your comfort zone, because it'll quickly escalate anyway when you realize what you're capable of. So just find a really good feeling within, like, pushing yourself a bit, an hourly rate. And then I would, in the beginning phases like you are, I would then just figure out what kind of time period and count in the calls you have to have with the customer. Maybe you've had to go and have a meeting with the customer, the driving time. Like don't underestimate the time it will actually take. It's not just about when you sit down and do it. It's about all of the thinking that you've done about it earlier, and you would be creative on the car on the way home, like everything. So the worst thing that you can do is undervalue yourself and then feel like, I did this job and actually I feel like it wasn't worth it for me. So just make sure you get above that. And I would just, like, that's a good place to start. So it won't be long before you start seeing some results, and you'll be able to start pitching, well, I can do this for you. And this is about, like, and this is the results you'll get. And what I'm charging is about 10% of those results. So that's worth it for you. And that'll happen quite quickly. But in the beginning, yeah, just feel into it. Don't even ask anyone else what they charge at all. It's, yeah. Yep. No one's business but your own. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, it's exciting. I want to hear that from you.
I'll keep you posted. Like I said, I'll just keep posted. It's like trying to balance it. I just feel like sometimes everything's such a balancing act between like current work and working out how you're fitting it all in. But it'll work. Yeah. Well, think outside the square a little bit and just feel absolutely like take some risks. You just a little bit of risk. This is where the personal growth stuff comes in so quickly when you're doing a business like that, doesn't it? Yeah. So yeah. Definitely. Anyway, that's a good one. Thanks, Kat.
Awesome. No worries at all. Yeah, of course.
I just wanted to ask, so when you first started out, did you just after doing all the modules, did you just focus on Facebook and do all the Facebook training, and that's the road you went down?
I did. When they'd say choose one thing and get to just make it your thing until you had a bit more understanding, I did listen to that. And Facebook is, if you are planning on doing some kind of agency or work like that, Facebook's a great one just because everyone knows Facebook, and obviously, well, the most people are on there so far. It's an easy sell to businesses. But yeah, I did just focus on Facebook in the beginning. It was actually the most popular thing at the time. So I don't want to claim that I made the best decision. I just felt like it just felt like the best option. Yeah. So I did. And wherever I felt like, oh, that wasn't clear enough in the training, or I need a bit more on that, I was one of those, like, I did just YouTube a video on, like, show me again. Like the training is obviously awesome and thorough, and sometimes we just learn differently from the person that's running the video. So sometimes I found like, actually, I feel like I'm not that dumb, and that just didn't sink in for me. And so I would encourage everyone to still keep doing your own research. There's everything you need on Google. So Google, like, oh, like when I did this bit of training that didn't sink in for me, I need to find someone else to tell you the same bit of information. You know, there's 10 videos on every function of Facebook and YouTube. So like, don't feel limited by what's available, even though, oh God, there's so much more available in the SFMDA now than there was when I started, isn't there, Robbie? But
Linda courses as well.
Have you looked at that lately, the Linda stuff?
There's 6,000 courses in there.
It's like
anything that you need to know.
It's so hard to keep up with everything because there's so much.
Yeah, actually, that was a thought that I had coming into this call, something that I wanted to make sure people knew. So obviously they do, like there is that advice still given where they say choose the first thing and learn that. Do not get distracted. Like there's literally so much, like there's so many things that you can learn. And even in like, if I did my time again, I would actually just choose one thing from the beginning and specialize in it. So you mentioned you were interested in doing video editing. So you literally like could just, I know you haven't learned it yet and that's okay, but you could just learn video editing and like practice and learn and Google and do the Linda things and all about video editing. You can be selling that to local business and then more than that too. Like just choosing. So what I actually did about a year down the track in my agency, I had that realization and I just went, like I was just juggling too many things and everything moves so fast and there's so much, it was just overwhelming. So I just chose Facebook advertising and went, all right, like the only thing that I do now is drive traffic to my clients' websites using Facebook advertising. And I don't post and I don't like muck around with their like websites. Like they need to get me in touch with their web guy. If like there's anything website, I'm not touching it, because that is how you get expert at anything, just choosing that one thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely like do just choose that one thing. And there's so much on there and it's like amazing how much is on there now. And don't learn it all. Like please don't anyone try and learn it all. You'll never get anywhere. Just learn that one thing and then get out of education mode.
Yeah. So what should to try and say I'm focusing on just learning the video editing and doing that.
Yeah.
Other than doing that, to try and generate leads as well, rather than just doing the training. So do you recommend that I still blog and syndicate all my blogs and just going down the free marketing, the free marketing side of it, rather than I'm not doing anything paid, but still trying to generate leads and a list?
Yeah. Well, I think it sounds like what you're doing is awesome. And my first thought is, if you want to learn something new, something like video marketing, you can immediately be implementing what you're learning and doing the videos that teaches the next person behind you what you've just done.
Yeah.
So that's creating content and that's going to generate leads. So if you're into video marketing, get your YouTube page set up, and every time you learn something new about video marketing, make a video about it and put it on that YouTube page. The more content that you're putting out there, the more chance that the wider the net of you being like people getting interested in coming to see what you're about. And then obviously within those videos or on your page, you can have your affiliate links there. This is, you can say at the end, and I've been learning this and I'm motivated by it because I'm a part of this awesome community. Like, let me introduce you to my mentors. So yeah.
Well, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, not at all. And I'm so excited for everyone. There's a piece of me that just goes, in the beginning, there's so much like awesomeness. Yeah, do it. Yeah. And also do it and get to a level where one of the things that my son's doing at the moment is offering his digital marketing skills and shooting ads for local businesses. So he's just, I mean, he's like a teenager, so he's obviously, and he's techie, really techie. But he's just taught himself online how to get a few different angles and edit, just exactly what you're going to learn, and edit something up and put some music behind it or whatever needs to happen.
Does he have good equipment, or is he just basic stuff?
Not especially. I mean, he has, I won't even know the name of it, but he's got a mid-range Canon camera, and just his Mac. He has a lapel mic. I'm pretty sure that's all he has. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everything you've got in.
Lapel mic's about $20.
Yeah.
I'm
just trying to think if there's anything else that he's got. It sounds really basic. It is really basic. I mean, on you can do it on your iPhone. The guy that I get locally to do videos for me, he only uses his iPhone. Like, wow. It's like they've got such a good camera in there, and he just makes. Yeah. So obviously my son's now going, all right, I think I can almost afford a drone. Like, he's like keen as, but like he's starting out and he's
good on him.
I know.
I wish I started when I was 18.
It's pretty scary to think where he could go. I know.
Yeah.
He's cool. He came to Perth with me actually, and his eyes just got blown wide open. He's like, holy shit, this is on. Yeah, it's going to be exciting to see.
Yeah, well, my daughter's 17 and she's not interested at all. So.
Oh, right. Well, I feel like, so my 15-year-old daughter, she's obviously on a totally different page. They're chalk and cheese, my kids. But I've even started going, wow, she likes to write. And like she, like there's everything that I see, every little skill or interest that come up in my kids now, I've like channeled it into how they can use it online, because it's going to be the only option for them before long. Like it's a bit of an exaggeration, but really, like there's so much opportunity there. Whatever they're into can be utilized online. I hope.
They're always on social media and their devices anyway, so why not make money out of it?
Why not put a link on their Snapchat every now and then? Come on. They're on it all day anyway. It's bloody ridiculous. I know, I'm constantly telling my daughter, we've just been spending a bit of time at the beach, and she's like, get the photo, like Insty. Every time I'm like, oh, no phones at the beach today. Like, God. So annoying. Anyway, I hope that answers your question and some. Do we have any other questions before I think of a new page? Robbie?
That's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, very awesome. Thank you.
I was talking to on a private call to someone in the States a couple of days ago, and I think she's a black member, but I think she was talking about not having any money and not having a job, and I said, well, there's this. I did tell her to go and watch your last video and that you're on this call.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube channel. And
yeah, cool.
I think I've seen to this one as well, because she said, oh, what do you charge? Just explain that.
Yeah, it's really like, I had this big thing where I was like, oh my God, like I'm going to be like a business owner. Does that mean I have to be like a grown up, and do I have to like be serious? And like there was all this, so many like group consciousness kind of things that like just immediately came in on me, like, oh, like that means, do I have to wear heels to do that? Like, like just so many stupid things. Like I couldn't possibly, oh no, I can't, I'd be a business owner, like so far from my reality. And then it was a mindset shift that just made me go, hang on, like a business, running your own business literally means you get paid to do stuff. Can I do stuff? Yes. Can I ask people to pay me? Yes. Like what is the one thing today that I can do to move in that direction? Because once I started thinking too far ahead and going, oh my God, and do I need software to do my books? And what does books even mean? Do I need an accountant? What do I need an accountant for? Like, oh, if I had thought of the big picture, my brain just would have been like absolutely, that is nothing that I could ever do. So that mindset of like one thing at a time, like and being a business person, like listen to all the crap that comes up. It's like, oh my God, do I have to get a shirt with a collar on it? Like, I ended up just making this real stand with myself that I was going to do it my way. And if the local business is just going to have to accept that I'm in a new industry, it's entrepreneurial, it's like that whole new world, and I'm going to just have to tell them that if it feels like, oh, they've got an issue with me because I'm in the real estate office and I'm like wearing my docs, I'm just going to say like, hey, like business doesn't have to be done like that anymore, and just like stand in it. And I tell you what, they respect that. Massively surprising. And you can see again where the personal growth stuff comes in, because it's no small thing, especially with me. Like my kids go to local schools, like everyone knows everyone down the road here, so I could have made just a total dick of myself and like the town would be talking. But I had to just rise above and own it. It's like that. It's kind of like there is a bit of that, like, so the thing that comes up in my mind, I've said this to someone recently actually, still to this day, because it's always a journey. Like I'm not done doing like ridiculously new things that scare the shit out of me. The words that come up in my brain is just like, just try it. Like, you know how people say that whole theory around not making mistakes so you learn? Like, I don't even like the word mistake. Like there's no right or wrong. Nothing matters anyway. Like just try something. Like just try something is the sentence. Just try something. Like don't worry if it's going to work or not. The only thing you have to worry about is if you are trying something. And beyond that, and it's pretty funny of me to share that with you. It still happens all the time. It's like, oh, I have no idea what I'm doing right now. Just try something. Like because the opposite of that is being paralyzed by fear. Like, and that's exactly what would have happened. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, so I won't, is where I was sitting. And I think that is where everyone sits to begin with. But if you just try something, it doesn't matter what the hell it is, make a massive fool of yourself. Well, I tried something, and just keep trying something. It sounds so ridiculous. And it freaking works. My life, like not just in my business life, but like that shift in my mindset has actually just given me like such a wider like range of life experiences. Like my life has just gotten like, I mean, I'm going to use the word abundant. Like I mean obviously it's paid off for me financially, and I am so much like such a bigger person now. I'm just always trying something new. Like just like the what's the word? Like there's so much more in my life. Like I'm just like abundant on experience and like I'm just fulfilled now. I'm not just sitting there going, oh, I could do something. It's like in every moment. And I've made some massive dicks of myself, believe me. Like God, like just out of my comfort zone, like embarrassing the crap out of myself. And who gives a fuck? Sorry about my language right now, but really, like, are we're just here like for a lifetime. It's like not very long. I just like my latest realization in that is that, yeah, my kid just left home. Like, I feel like I blinked and my kid left home. Okay, if that's how quick life feels, then I better try something, anything. Let's just do something and see what happens. And yeah. Anyway, end rant. Thanks for listening, everyone. Oh, too funny.
In a second.
Oh, hello. Have you got something to share, John? While you're not being a parent?
Yeah, I just put my two to bed. So yes, it's joys of being a single parent.
Yeah, I thought that might be happening. Good work. Go team.
Yeah. Oh, we had a fun day. We went to Wet and Wild today. So.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, which is interesting because that was a choice in itself, because I didn't want to go because I'm telling myself all these stories about not having enough money and, it's going to cost X amount. But then you just, you know what, there's no right or wrong. You just make a choice and have fun. And it's amazing what shows up.
Totally.
That
is awesome.
So was it a fun day?
Yeah, it was.
Did you go on all the rides?
Yeah, of course.
Proud. Good work.
I don't know if you can see my eyes are totally bloodshot now. They're just like after about 3 o'clock now, I had the chlorine. I literally couldn't even drive home almost. Like the eyes are that bloodshot and blurry. So it's another story, but I'm obviously made it home safe. So, but
it's really hard work, that place. I remember, I feel like I haven't been for a while, but I've taken my kids there and felt like I've just been on a treadmill all day. Just work. It's a workout. Keeping up with the young people. God. Whew.
Yes.
Good job, Dad.
Yeah, but that's cool. Yeah, what else? I guess found out today that I've got my house application approved to move into Sunshine Coast.
Yes.
So
awesome.
that's one of those life goals. I finally, after 2 years of procrastinating and telling myself all these other excuses and stories, to actually take a little bit of action and get it happening. So yeah, it's going to be a busy weekend. It's funny. I guess this is probably an overshare, but I actually told the place where I live now I'll be moving out on the 19th to try and get sort of things happening myself. Sometimes you got to learn to do stuff that sort of helps you take action, and giving yourself that date of moving out by the 19th. If you don't find a place, then you got nowhere to live. So anyway, it's sort of cut a little bit too fine. I only had a week spare, so it's all come together.
Made it happen.
Yeah,
that's awesome. That's how the universe works, though, right?
Yeah, choice creates.
Make a choice, and it will fill in around the edges.
Yeah,
awesome.
That's what I was just going to say, listening to you before, there's just so much value on what you're saying about the little insights and a little bit of coaching tips here and there. So, yeah, thanks.
Awesome. Not at all. I was just thinking into that. That just made me think of, you probably have, but have you read The Surrender Experiment, Michael Singer?
No, I haven't.
If everyone write that down, take out your pen and paper, class, and write that down, because that was a massive shift for me, actually, like on that real, on that energetic level of how am I going to say this? So I think until I read that book, I was really in this like kind of like go, push, hustle, like I have to achieve, like kind of like quite harsh energy. And it was reading that book that shifted me into like more into flowing, like, doing things like, just like you said, that's what reminded me, like, okay, well, I'm going to book a flight somewhere, and I'm just like, the money's just going to have to come in. I don't know how it's going to happen, like that sort of. I think I did that to one of the early events. I did it to the Sydney event, I think, where I was like, well, I don't think it was book a flight. That didn't make sense. It was probably book the ticket to the event, and that with not having any idea how I was possibly going to get there or be accommodated or anything. And then, that book is basically a story of a man's life who he just drops into this place of surrender. He doesn't try to make anything happen, and it's a beautiful story. It's actually like, I mean, it's amazing where this journey of surrender takes him.
Yeah, I'm kind of getting that energetically, I think, what it's all about. So it's kind of cool.
It's really motivational, even though it sounds, I mean, that whole surrender, be motivated. What am I doing? Which one? But like hearing that really solidified, that actually, like, so I guess the way that I think now is I go, okay, so here it is, like, and it's like putting it out to the universe. Here is the vision I have. Like, this is what it's going to look like. And make sure that is clear to myself, to the world, to the universe, like change even my language around it, maybe like, oh yeah, we are doing this. Like, haven't figured out how yet. Doesn't matter about the how, but we are doing this. Like, change everything about my energy towards that thing is going to happen. And then drop it. Then don't try and make it happen. Just assume it's going to.
Yeah.
And it sounds like hocus pocus when I say it out loud like that, but like honestly, unreal. And some things will crop up in my life and I'll be like, oh, that's right, I put that out to the universe, here it is. Hadn't thought about it ever since. And it's like so affirming. It only has to happen once or twice and you're like, oh.
And especially if you take the time to acknowledge it and go, wow, that did happen, or I did create that.
Yeah.
You know, and that sort of opens up the possibility for that sort of thing to happen up and show up again, because you're sort of practicing or flexing that muscle as well.
That's totally true. It's just a confidence in a different way, isn't it? Where you,
it is actually.
Like, each time that you see it, you're reassured that, oh, that's how that works. And so you just push the bar a bit further. How big can I dream? Let's give that a crack.
how much fun can I have with this is another good question to ask, you know.
Totally.
Like, don't make it significant. Just leave it as a experiment, or surrender, you know, and just whatever shows up, and then just choose each 10 seconds.
Yes. My it has been along the way, like learning that. I mean, for me, I'm not a religious person in any way, but I got to a point maybe a year ago where I really started claiming that I did have a faith, like, and not a faith in a religious sense, but just a faith in the fact, in what I call now a creator of all that is. Like, I don't know what that is, but I believe in it.
You can call it,
it's
like,
there. Who cares what it's called? It is showing up for me. And so I'm going to admit that it's there. And it's been funny to watch what's happened since really owning it. And it's what's been really highlighting it, that my experience with that is watching my kids come along for the ride, because they know me as a person, like 2 years ago, Kat. And then as I'm like, kind of, as I'm shifting and saying things differently and stuff is showing up, and my kids are looking at me like, oh, but then they're shifting. You know how sometimes that can happen with the kids? The kids can just reflect back, like, you do know, like my kids have been you do know that's really mental, Mum, like actually mental. And I'm like, let's see if it works. And
I was just going to say, I've got one to share. I got a text message from my 9-year-old. Thanks for being dad. Like, just the stuff they come out with, like, you know, like, really, it's random.
Yeah, it really reflects. Or, you know, even you could say something back to you, like that, and you're like, oh God, like, or I hear my daughter saying it. She had friends around last night and she was telling her friends all about this, that, and the other. And I was like, holy shit, where did she learn that? Those are my words. She's like teaching them how it could be for them. This is how it could be for you guys. Like, okay. Brilliant. Anyway, a little aside. But
so what was it?
Keep up the faith. The Surrender Experiment. It's by Michael A. Singer, I think. I can just check on my phone. Michael Singer, I'm sure there is an initial, I'm not sure which. Yeah, I won't log in right now and distract myself. But a beautiful story, a beautiful, encouraging story, and just a different way of looking at the journeys that we're going through now, that we're on.
Yep.
Yeah, really cool. Far out. Yeah. I'm trying to think what else I had to share. Does anyone else feel to ask questions or to share something of your own? I'm just trying to think. Well, actually, if you wait, put your hand up if you want to answer that question. Is there anything before I just run over you? I want to speak into now it's not actually, I don't think, relevant for any of you directly, but I feel like it's still worth saying. So the team of women that are behind the scenes at the SFM and DEA have been for quite some time knowing, and pushing for, not pushing for, but trying to create more support for women in the community specifically, just because obviously the whole company is run by men, like a lot of things in the world. And it hasn't been a push, because all of the, I say pushing and I'm like, no, it makes it sound terrible. All of the men have been totally on board, obviously, because they can see the lack as well. But feeling out how to do it and what is needed specifically and all of that stuff has been something that has been on the SFM DEA radar for a couple of years now. and it's starting to get traction. And I feel really excited about that. So one of the things that has started to get implemented is that at the platinum and black level, I'm now running a support call for women specifically, which doesn't look like a regular mastermind. That it really is about supporting what we've just discovered here, pushing yourself in business, doesn't opens you up to all of this other, like, what I would call healing that needs to happen before you can fully receive your value. So that's starting to happen, and it's really, for me, it's just the very tip of the iceberg. I'm so just trying to think how much I can go into. We've now at that level also got a women's group just started, and it'll be dropping down to the gold level probably next month. And I just wanted to share my excitement and enthusiasm for women getting to be inspired in a different way, because it does make sense, I think, that there is a different kind of support for, and I'm not saying that men don't actually need the support. I just think there is a space in which we can do things separately that creates something quite different. So I'm screaming from the rooftops at the moment, because I've been a part of that and going, come on, we're doing this, we need this, it's going to be awesome, for a while now. And it is really gaining traction very, very fast. There's a snowball. So hopefully we'll see it at all levels soon enough. But I'm really excited about it. There have actually been a few instances of people not upgrading, or it was starting to become quite apparent that there wasn't that feminine energy just wasn't there, and wasn't inspirational, wasn't encouraging. It's so much easier to follow someone that you can really relate to. So yeah, so that makes sense. That's something that's exciting for you guys and for your members, knowing that, when I first came in, I was following Jay, and I couldn't relate to him much at all. And an American guy come on, full stop.
Yeah, Americans.
So no, I'm not going to do it. No, I love Americans, especially those ones. But yeah, it really was for me when I first started out. I really did feel a lack of female leadership. I just think that it made me feel, and it wasn't something I could put words to, but there was definitely a place where I was like, well, they can do it, sure, but can someone like me? And part of that was gender. It wasn't all of it, but it was part of it. And so having female leadership in the community is going to help you bring on more women members underneath you who will relate to who you are. So it's exciting all around. And I'm loving doing it. So that's great. It's really cool. I feel like there's a way in which there's a way of supporting our lives and not just our businesses that I felt wasn't hitting the nail on the head for me coming through the system. So I'm really happy to be filling that in. Celebration for me, just saying. Yeah, thanks, Ravi. Yes. Woo! Yeah, it does. I feel like I've kicked some goals in the last while. It has not been easy. Come on. I'm pushing against patriarchy, people. Pretty exciting.
You're awesome at it.
Thank you. I won't stop. So that's the main thing.
I know.
I'll keep trying something. Try something. If you take away nothing else, take away that. Try something. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I didn't apart from showing up and being here for you guys, I haven't, this is as prepared as I've been. So unless anyone wants to come out and tell me anything that they want to, we're probably almost on the hour anyway. Were we supposed to be an hour, Robbie, or what is that?
It's normally an hour, but we're flexible.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I have
talking to you. Well, I'll stay up. It doesn't matter.
Do you have to go, Kelly? Is that what you were about to say?
Yeah, she keeps coming out of bed because she wants mama. So it's really nice to meet you, and thank you for all your input, and good on you for women.
Thank you. Thank you.
Go women. Yeah. Yeah.
It's nice to meet you. Go and
Yeah.
be an awesome parent, and I'm sure we'll meet again.
And
All
if
right.
you
Good night,
can watch it again,
everyone.
because we're recording it.
Good night.
I'll see you all next week.
Yep. We've got Cordelia on next week.
Awesome.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Don't miss
Sounds
that.
good. All right. I'll be here.
Right. See ya.
I'll see
She'll
you
be,
then.
she'll be talking about how you can fit everything in, because she's an expert at that, I believe.
At what?
Fitting everything.
Balancing, yeah.
Like balance and productivity. So.
Balancing and organising the life. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got little ones at home. That's definitely worth a listen. Anyway, go and be a parent.
Very little. Okay, good night, everyone. Bye.
Good night.
See you next week.
Yeah. So that probably does come to the end of my sharing anyway. That's Robbie, unless you have something specific you know about me that you think I should be sharing. Or anyone?
No, you've just come a long way. I've watched you.
No. That's true. That is true for sure. I've given you some pretty good tips. Or did you have something else there, John? Felt like you were going to talk. No. We could probably wrap it up unless anyone wants to pick my brain some more. I feel like you're all going to go away and take some action, so my work might just be done.
And I think I'll post this in the 90-day video challenge so that others can watch it.
Okay.
Not just their Down Under group.
That can count for my video too then.
This is for Kat and me.
This is all about video challenge. We were all there.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah,
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Are you still doing the challenge? Okay. Have you still been going on daily, or was it just?
No, I'm terrible at the challenge. I'll just be honest with you. I have a thing with competition. I react to competition. If somebody pushes me, or even if it's a challenge like that, that's been some of my struggle in the community. Actually, has been I can do amazing things on my own time, and accepting that about myself. And not a competition and challenge, and that can really just actually do the opposite of what it's intended to do. Yeah. Totally shut me down. So I just make my own rules and put videos in whenever I want, and it works brilliantly.
That's great.
not to discourage you from the challenge though.
No, I was actually on the second time round.
Oh,
I'm doing
awesome.
I did this time round, I've only really put them in again when I felt like it. I'm trying to do now the last 25 second time round in one go consistent, because I have found that I've really only gone in when I felt I had things to say.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
The two things that I think that people get out of the challenge is getting into the community, really feeling like they've met people. That connecting really well, and showing their face, getting over that confidence stuff. But if you're knocking out a good video, then the marketing element of the challenge is it's a check. If you can do a video to your list now, then awesome. But the biggest thing I think is like I said right in the beginning, connect with everyone that you possibly can, and that is absolutely the place to do it. That's awesome.
Awesome with that one.
Yeah, I look out for you. There's so many people in there now. When I first started, I did half a challenge or something, and it was just didn't seem like many at all. Did it, Robbie? Have you noticed that?
I've only just got into the group. I hadn't been there before. And then,
at all?
No, I hadn't joined it. I just concentrated on running the Down Under group. I don't need to worry about it, and I didn't need to worry about that. And then I thought, no, I need to go in and do the challenge and find out what it's. And, I post a video and I go down and you scroll down, and like yesterday's video, I was trying to find if anyone had put any comments on it, and I scroll down and where's it gone? And I scroll down and
yeah. When I first did it, it felt like a really intimate group. Like it was maybe just like 12 of us started at a similar time, and we just like connected in, and it was like back in the day, it was so simple. There's way more opportunity in there now, though. Like there's obviously ups and downs to everything. Now it's like, holy shit, all these awesome people, and then you go to an event, and you're like, I know everyone. It's awesome.
That's what I had when I went to Sydney.
Yeah, right. Oh, yeah, of course you did, because you're a leader. Look at you.
Yeah. When I went to Sydney, I everyone that walked in I knew, because I'd been running these calls and everyone knew me, and I knew everyone. Whereas I've been to a London event and you go there and you turn up and it just doesn't feel the same, because I don't know anyone. And that was, I think that was a realisation I had in Perth. I thought, I don't. There was a few Poms over. I mean, there was people from other countries, in Perth and probably Brisbane as well. But Sydney and Melbourne was just down under people. And I went to Brisbane and you look around and there was a lot of new people there that I didn't know. And then in Perth, well, you had a lot of people that you're from the States and from the UK. And again, you didn't know them, but I got to meet them all because I just sat around in the hotel lobby. And,
nice.
Well, because I arrived on the Thursday, so I hang out Thursday evening and all of Friday. And, you guys were in the Platinum event and you'd see us walking past occasionally. But those that arrived early, like all the Poms, like Alex and Dan, Cordelia.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, there was a bit of a crew of you in that lobby for a bit, wasn't there?
Yeah. So, I just hung out with them and got to know them. And I thought, maybe I should get into the video challenge and get to know people other than down under people.
There are some, what struck me a lot actually was I've been more involved because of the swimming stuff. It's really struck me again, and it happens every now and then because I've come in and out depending what I'm doing. But the caliber of people that are attracted to the SFM and get involved, they are beautiful people. Oh, yeah. You can just guarantee that anyone you meet who has gone through that funnel of the SFM and committed to anything within it, they are just going to be amazing people. And you might not see it immediately, sometimes it's dig, and whoa, it's just incredible. Time and time again, I'm like, where did you come from? This is amazing. It's really very telling. It's incredible. It's so cool.
Yeah. But, I'm seeing it as well because, 3, 4, even 5 years ago, I was, getting on call, dealing with people, and the caliber of people we're getting now is different.
Yeah, right.
I mean, I remember getting on calls and saying, I paid so many $1,000s for gold, and where's my website, and where's this, and where's that, and I should be getting this, and I should be getting that. Don't get that now.
No, that's interesting.
They come with the entitled mentality because I paid so much money, and they should be giving it all to me.
Right, that's shifted now. Yeah. We've all shifted our marketing to not have those people. Aren't we?
That's a good thing.
Yeah. Totally. It really is. Oh, it's amazing. Yeah, that last Platinum event that I did was the best one yet. I've been doing those since, did I do my first one in Sydney? Yeah, I did.
The first one in Sydney.
And so I've been doing them for a while now, and I've done extra ones, not just the Australian ones.
Yeah, because you went to Castle Kubasak after Sydney, wasn't it?
I did. Yep, I did. And so this one in Sydney, though, we did just a round of introductions. And normally, I'm a leader in that sense. I'm coaching and I'm there. And people were doing this round, and I was just like, whoa. I had a moment of intimidation. I was like, you guys, just in the intros, I was like, you guys are awesome. And so I had to get back in my and so are you. Oh yeah. I forgot for a sec because I was just surrounded by these powerful characters. just with incredible stories. Yeah, whatever, like the marketing's working, let me tell you. Amazing. So good. Yeah. All right.
Well, call it a night.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Anyone else?
And anytime you want to come along, you're welcome.
Thanks, Robbie. I always do feel welcome. I like to get a message from you, a nice little invite.
Oh, so you want me to invite you more often then?
Well, no, I'm happy to come. I really am.
Yeah.
I am. Yeah, I'm not sure it always makes sense for me to be coming when I'm not sharing anymore. That's a bit. I don't know if that's true or not. I'll work it out. But it is really nice when I do. It's really nice.
Yeah. But again, you don't have to be coming on the calls because you've got your own stuff to do anyway.
Generally.
But yeah, I'm working on getting a lot more people coming on the calls to share. Like, who else have I got lined up? Oh, Jacqueline from New.
Cool.
Although that's probably going to be when daylight saving ends over there, because it'll be 5 o'clock in the morning for her at the moment, and that 6 o'clock will.
Oh, ouch! Time differences.
Yeah.
They're the worst, aren't they?
Yeah. And I'm thinking of maybe seeing if I can get Stuart or Jay on the call at some stage as well.
Yeah, it could happen.
Jay said he'd come, but I haven't. I've got to contact him yet. I thought, well, I'll get a few other people on first before I get him.
Yeah. Danielle might be worth reaching out to as well.
All right.
She'd be.
I intend to get a few people, because it's hard for people in Australia and New Zealand to get on the call sometimes. So
totally.
Actually bringing the people that run the SFM calls down to into our time is probably beneficial.
Totally is. I reckon it's amazing. It's such a good idea. Good work you keeping on doing it, honestly. I was speaking with Danielle the day or two ago, and she's actually got a really great story. I don't know her very well. I've just sort of started connecting her more through this women's stuff.
Yeah.
She's awesome. She's got stuff to share for sure. So, and she's pretty generous with her time too. Yeah, maybe just put that one on your list.
Yeah. Well, I've got like there's about 50 weeks left in the year or something, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll need some people on your list. I am happy to come back.
No worries.
Don't worry. I'll come back and report on how the women's stuff's going. How about that in a couple of months?
That'd be cool, because most of the time there's me and a bunch of women on the call.
Yeah, cool. Wow.
Yeah. So
I like that.
Will be good.
Yeah, I do. That'd be great.
No worries. We'll call it a night, and thanks again for coming.
All right. Lovely to meet you, who I haven't met yet, and I'm sure we'll see you again.
And don't forget Cordelia next week.
Yeah, don't miss her. She's cool.
No worries.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you, Kat.
Thanks, Robbie.